and welcome back to another episode of the LENcast. This is episode number 8. I am Terrence from WirelessVLOGS. I'm going to introduce our guest before we get into the podcast. First, we have Dan from Garfield V2. Say g'day.
G'day.
Well done. He listens to instructions. I like that in a person. Second, we have Ben from Cornerfly Games. Say g'day.
G'day guys, how are we all doing?
He tried to, but he did a Josh and went on for far too long after saying what I asked him to. And speaking of the man, Josh from Crossbar Capers, say g'day.
I love brown bears.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Right, so today we are going to do something a little bit different. We're going to break it down from all the football chat we've had lately. I've asked the boys, I've let them know at very late notice so they can't do any research. What we're going to do tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm going to give the boys a minute to talk about a random topic. So I might say a topic such as, for instance, football, and they have a minute flat to talk about football. Anything they like involving football, it just has to be football related, and they have to talk for a minute straight with no ums, no ahs, and no pauses. It should be quite interesting. I'll accept some ums and ahs if the topic is quite random and it's a bit off the... But we're trying to minimise any ums, ahs, and pauses is the point. So, do you boys think you can go a minute straight talking about random topics? It is quite challenging on the spot.
No.
Okay, I have got my stopwatch out because we all know Josh likes to waffle on. So
Hey,
I'm
Terrence,
going
there's
to.
an alarm clock on there, mate.
Shots fired.
Sorry, boys.
There's plenty of work for you on the cutting room floor there, Ben.
Yep.
Right, our first cab off the rank is Josh. You have a minute to talk about what it is like to be half Portuguese. Go.
Look, guys, pretty simple, pretty easy 60 seconds here. My dad was obviously born and bred in Portugal. My mum is Australian. My mum had myself obviously with my father. That would make me simply half Portuguese. Very easy topic to talk about, mate. So we'll narrow it down. Very short history. My dad's side obviously come from a nice little fishing village off the shores of Nazaré. Nice little fishing village there, just about 20 minutes outside of Porto. Who has a very poor soccer side. Myself, I'm very anti-Porto and more Benfica myself. So, yeah, pretty well. In a nutshell, that's how we're going to friggin' sum up my nationality of being half Portuguese. It's no different, obviously. Ben and so forth. Obviously, his dad was English, his mum was Australian. So before, it's not rocket science, guys. Look it up. Very easily done. Thank you very much.
Stop.
Flat.
I wouldn't exactly call that staying on topic all that well, but you got there. That was a minute, and you were talking about what it's like to be half Portuguese. So fair play to you. We did have a few ums and ahs in there, but we'll
Really?
accept that. That was a decent effort. Okay, next we have Dan. Dan, you have 1 minute to talk about Brexit. Go.
Brexit. Well, where do we start? There's one already. Brexit. It should happen because it was voted for. Now they're trying to make it so it doesn't happen because they're wanting to do another vote. Brexit means Brexit. I don't have a clue about any of it. I don't really care about the European Union. I also have screaming kids, so apologies, everybody. That's also going off the topic. But Brexit, bullshit. Who cares if we're in the European Union or not? Switzerland aren't in it. They're fantastically well off. We can be fantastically well off. I don't really know fuck all about it. I don't do politics.
Well, you got another.
I didn't vote because I had my daughter like the day before the vote, so I didn't even bother going into town. I just stayed at home changing shitty nappies, and yeah. So that's Brexit in a nutshell. Is basically politics, bullshit. Politicians finally getting paid to do something.
Well, you managed to get that there. I mean, you were just about done in 6 seconds, but you managed to stretch it out. Alrighty. Ben,
Yeah.
You have 1 minute to talk about white picket fences. Go.
White picket fences. Well, okay. Well, to get yourself a white picket fence, what you have to do firstly and foremostly is build a fucking fence. So with that fence built, you would trundle on down into the local town, and luckily for me, my old girl used to work in a paint shop in my local town. So what you'd do is you'd walk in there and say, "Hey Leslie, guess what? I want some white paint." And she would mix up some white paint for you if it wasn't available. You'd take that paint, you'd get your paint brushes, and you'd go walk outside on a sunny day. You don't do it in the rain. And you would sit there with brush strokes going up and down, nice even strokes with your white paint to create your white picket fence. So, how long is that going? I don't think it's enough because he hasn't said stop yet. So yeah, there are all sorts of different brushes that you can use. You can use white brush, like a wide brush, or you can use a white brush eventually if you wanted to. You could go into your kids' art kits and, maybe steal some white paint and some brushes off them. It might take you a long time, but you'll be able to do it.
That is fantastic. Well done, Ben. So that gives everyone listening a bit of an idea just on how hard this is, because all three, Ben seemed to pretty well cruise through that, but I can tell he was very much struggling, and Dan and Josh did stumble a fair few times. So it's not as easy as it looks.
Ben got a freaking easy one.
I got an easy one.
I do not think anyone was expecting me to say white picket fences, and
Hell
that
no.
is exactly why I threw it in there, because I wanted to catch you off guard to make you think on the spot and see how just how good you are. And Ben, that was absolutely brilliant. Fair play to you.
It reminds me of those old Vine videos. Story time.
I like competition.
Oh yes, with Thomas Sanders.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yes, they were brilliant.
It's all right. Well, I can take competition. Right, 1-0 to Ben. Fair play. Let's go. Round 2.
Okay, round 2. We are kicking off with Dan this time. Dan, you have 1 minute to talk about what your views are of Australia. Go.
Australia is a very hot country. It's very far away. I land down under. If I drilled through my floor and kept going, I'd probably come out in Australia. It has horrible spiders, disgusting things. It also has little jumping things called kangaroos. Also, venomous snakes, horrible things. Air-conditioned houses, which is non-existent over in the UK, so they can deal with heat over there. We can't deal with heat over here, but it's raining today, so it's fine. Also, in Australia, they've got sea all the way around it, and it's fantastic for sea life and boats and other stuff like plastic bottles and cans that get thrown into the sea. It's also got a big place called Sydney that has an opera house that I don't think actually sees much opera sang in it. It's also what else does Australia have?
And stop. That was excruciating, but well done.
What that was is somebody who doesn't live in Australia describing Australia.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because the
And
spiders, the
how-
big fuck off spiders, you never see. The snakes, you never see. The little jumping things, like kangaroos, are not
big
so little,
jumping things.
are big jumping things and will destroy your car if it jumps in front of it.
Oh yeah.
Contrary to popular
got
belief,
magic.
not every house has air conditioning in Australia. Mine doesn't.
I do know this. I was speaking to one of
Oh, do we have someone at your work? Is there someone at your work that listens to this, Dan?
There's someone at work that does listen to this. Yes, hello, Tom.
Shout out to Tom. Well done, mate.
Not Tomo. Tom.
Another Tom that's just started did 8 months in Australia backpacking.
Shit.
He's
I
backpacking.
learned a bit more. He was backpacking. He's back. He came back over last year.
Thank God he made it back.
Yep.
Those dingoes have
Did a dingo eat his baby?
Oh no!
Yeah,
All right, moving on. Josh, yours. Josh, you have 1 minute to talk about dingoes eating babies. Go.
Mate, that was the softest topic ever. Dingoes eating babies. What I'd like to talk about dingoes is obviously dingoes are a native animal to Australia. They are virtually part of the dog family. They do obviously live in zoos and obviously in the wild and so forth. By all means, do not approach them if you do see them in the wild. They can be very, very dangerous. As did one backpacker who did come out to Australia, who was travelling around Ayers Rock. A tragic event. Whilst the baby was sleeping in the tent and mum and dad were obviously off doing whatever they were doing, the dingo eventually ended up coming into the tent, grabbing hold of the baby, and then taking it away. I'm not 100% sure if it did end up eating the baby. That's what they claimed happened. But I've got a good feeling that mum and dad had a bit too much sauce and done it themselves. End of story. Dingoes are good puppy dogs. Good puppy dog. And I'll take that as a 60-second minute.
Yeah. Opposed from the 65-minute seconds.
65
Second minute, even.
65 minutes, seconds. How many seconds we got?
No, you're done now. You're done now, yeah.
My stopwatch. What time are you stopping doing your stopwatch? I'm stopping mine.
No, I've got a 75-second stopwatch.
Oh,
75
okay.
seconds to a minute, so
That's fair enough.
you don't question the quizmaster, mate. You're losing a point for that.
I didn't have any to fucking start with.
Yeah, no, we're playing for points. This is for pride and pleasure, boys.
Does that drop me to -1 or does I still stay on 0?
Oh, you're on about -5 for all the ums and ahs, but we'll keep soldiering on. I believe that is Ben. That will be your turn now.
It is, mate.
Ben, you have 1 minute to talk about the Australian Matildas. Go.
The Matildas. So, our Australian Matildas, who are the female part of the male, obviously, soccer team, or association football, or football team that we have in this country. And in topical news, they did play last night, and they did end up winning against Brazil. And from what I read as well, that also makes it 4 wins for the Matildas against Brazil on the trot now. So, some players that were playing for the Matildas. Newcastle's own Emily Van Egmond, who is now also playing in the US for club side. One of my favourites when she gets her ribbons out, Hayley Razzo. She's an amazing footballer. I do love her. In other news as well, one of them's come back from injury. What's her name? Caitlin Ford. Finally, good to see her back out there. And a young 15-year-old girl whose name escapes me actually made her debut for the Matildas last night, which is very good for the young 15-year-old.
And that is very good, and I'm glad you brought up last night's result, because we did have a 3-1 win against Brazil, the Matilda girls did, which was very, very good to see that the Matildas, contrary to popular belief around the world, people like to think, we've made this joke many times, that Australian football is quite rubbish, but the Matildas are actually dominating the world scene at the moment. So it is very good to see as a nation that our girls are doing us proud. Right, now we are going to take a quick little break from this section of the podcast.
You didn't point system. You didn't point system that one. We know Ben got a point for the first one.
I'm keeping a tally, don't you worry. I'm keeping a tally. We are a professional unit here. Now, lads, as I missed last week, and I was going to bring this up there were some circumstances that meant I was not available for last week. We'll not go into the finer details.
Sleep.
I think that was brought. I think that joke has already been made last week. So, lads, has there been any topical news that we would like to quickly cover in our own lives, or anything that has caught our attention over the last week that we want to bring up?
Yep.
Fire away.
Birmingham are about to kick off against Brighton.
Oh, that'll be a good game for Brighton. Plenty of...
I can confirm Matt Ryan is in the starting lineup for Brighton.
He's in the starting lineup.
He is.
Beautiful.
Sorry?
Good on him. Good.
I said I'd be worried if he wasn't, because he's got plenty of competition there now to freaking make it possibly not happen.
He does, but I'm glad he's got the call up. He's at a rough trot.
Oh,
Josh, any
Yeah,
oh, go on.
No, continue.
Keep going, mate. Keep going.
Okay.
You guys don't want to listen to hear me waffle on about Birmingham.
No, we do not. That's why I moved on. Josh, any news? We're keeping it short and snappy.
Yeah, mate. Look, absolutely. Friggin' obviously on the sort of same topic as Ben there. Obviously, Derby's obviously not getting all. They've just announced their obviously final starting lineup for the game against Wolverhampton. Their final hit out, which is I'm not 100% sure. Dan, can you confirm that? Is that 3 p.m.?
It will be 3 p.m. Yes, which is in 3 minutes.
3 minutes. There we go. Obviously, and I will definitely say they're going pretty much full out. Scott Carson obviously gets nod and goals and so forth, and they've got a few more signings this year, which I think are going to do absolutely wonders for us and see us miles ahead of Birmingham this year.
That's
Okay,
not hard.
perfect.
I think we'll be further ahead than Birmingham.
What was that, Dan? Sorry.
That's not hard. My pinky finger will be further ahead than Birmingham this season.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I was just confirming that's what I heard you say. I just wanted you to repeat it for Ben.
Was that one or two knuckles deep?
Oh.
And moving on. Now, I'm going to quickly ask Josh and Dan and Ben where they think
Where's my news? Where's my news? This is poor hosting.
Oh, well, I thought Josh had covered yours because Josh covered Derby where I was expecting him to cover Jets because Ben covered Birmingham. But, Dan, any news, mate?
Yes. So,
go on, son.
So Nottingham Forest have extended an invitation to those Thai kids that got trapped for a day at their championship ground. But a spokesperson for the kids have said 12 days in a shithole was long enough, so they're going to decline.
There's the zinger for the episode.
Oh, boom.
No wonder you so desperately wanted to go.
Oh, man. God for it.
Okay. And moving on. We'll start with Ben. Where do you see Birmingham finishing this year being realistic?
Mid-table.
Mid-table? I'm going to ask you now, because this is on record, to put a spot on it. Put a number on your position.
Ooh. If I had to...
Yes, you do have to.
15th.
14. Okay.
15th. Ooh, okay. So lower mid-table then.
Yep.
Josh,
Yep.
I want you to pick one for the Jets. Pick a spot.
Oh, man. I'm going to go 4th.
Ooh, bit of a fall from grace. Okay.
Yeah,
And Dan, we're moving on. Dan, I want you to pick one for Nottingham Forest. No, only being
24.
silly. Pick one for Derby.
30th.
Okay, and your tip for Derby?
5th.
5th.
I was going to say.
Yeah?
Ooh,
Fair
okay.
shout.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, I'll accept that. Alrighty, and we're going to get straight back into our little competition of seeing these boys babble on for a minute about things they have absolutely no clue about. So we are going to go back to the start with Josh. Josh, you have a minute to talk about a flat tyre. Go.
Right, guys, it's very simple. For all the women out there, I don't believe you guys should be driving a vehicle unless you know how to change a flat tyre. It's very simple. So obviously, what happens is when you drive in the car obviously you come to not a sudden stop, but obviously a clunk and you'll hear so forth. If you've got a new car, obviously it'll tell you that your tyre's fucked. Jump out, change it. So pull over to the side of the road, grab the jack out, grab the fresh tyre out. What we do is we get under there, we friggin' jack the car up a little bit, get obviously the tyre off, unscrew the nuts and so forth of the tyre, rip the fucker out, jam the new one back in there, mate. You turn those nuts up real quick, and then obviously it's very simple. You lower it back down, and away she goes. It's pretty clear cut. Doesn't get much easier than that. Jam the old tyre back into the boot of the car, and away she goes. By all means, get that fixed, get it patched. That's what I would do. You know, no point in wasting a tyre. Just go get that shit patched.
Done.
Simple. Enjoy driving away.
I knew it'd be boring hearing you talk about nutting, but there you go. It was even worse. Dan,
Nuts, mate. Calm down.
you have 1 minute to talk about Actually, no. I did have an idea, but I'm going to save that one for the final round. I'm going to change it up a little bit. Dan, you have 1 minute to talk about your profession.
My profession is one of the sort of professions that not many people sort of think about or would consider. I make coffins. When people die, traditionally they either get burnt or buried. In which case, both cases, they have a coffin that they go into. My job is very simple: of getting all these bits of wood together, sticking them all together. There you go, bish bash bosh. There's a coffin. However, it's not quite as simple as that. You have different sizes because some people are dwarves, some people are giants, some people are thin, some people are not so thin. So the sizes all change, and you've really got to be on the game because it's the shoulder width that is the critical part, not so much the height, although the height will play a part. What else is there really to say? I make coffins. People die, they go into coffins, and I make them coffins, right? Some of them coffins go into a big burner and they get burned and get put into urns.
I think that was probably a good time to stop because you were starting to get a little bit less politically correct. You've done well up until that point.
How can you be? It's a coffin.
That's the whole point. This is meant to be challenging. I'm trying to challenge you.
It's just challenging. I've never thought I have to describe my job in a minute. Normally, it's what do you do? I'm a coffin maker. And then they just look up above their glasses as if to say, are you fucking for real? Yes, I make coffins. But your
It is pretty tragic. But, you know.
There's always business.
I mean, that.
It's a dead end job.
But there's always business.
Dan, you have 1 minute to talk about sore teeth. Go.
Oh my God, sore teeth. I think there probably isn't any pain worse than that. Childbirth is even easy compared to having a sore tooth. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Like sometimes you might stand on an upturned plug first thing in the morning. In that case, you know that it's just time to get straight back into bed. That your day's not getting any better because that hurts when you've got toothache. Oh my God, it's the worst. The pain, it shoots through your jaw, shoots through your nose, into your eye, sometimes even into your little toe. It's horrible. Best thing to do with a sore tooth, get yourself straight into the dentist. I can only talk in pounds. Best £60 I ever spent. Get that tooth gone. Don't even try and fix it. Just get it gone. We don't need them no more. Food's not even that hard anymore. It's soft as shit. You can even have steaks rare. You don't need to do hardly any chewing. Mash it up. It's fine. Sore teeth.
Stop.
Get it gone.
Hey, that's probably one of the better ones so far.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure Dan wins that.
Yeah, that was impressive.
It's easy when he's just had a sore tooth. That's all bad.
Exactly.
Can't say I've
Can't say I've
been politically correct in the past half an hour.
No. Okay, Josh, you have 1 minute to talk about birthday parties. Go.
Oh, everyone loves a good birthday party. Mate, I was at a cracking birthday party tonight. 30th birthday parties are the bomb. Everyone thinks you're getting older. Mate, trust me, all you're doing is getting a little bit wiser. You watch old mate go up and get a drink, and then you sit there, and then you go get a drink, and then when he falls over, it's time to end that party real quick. Take my 2-year-old daughter's last birthday party. Obviously, there is a massive topic between do you drink at a 2-year-old's birthday or don't you drink at a 2-year-old's birthday? My opinion, definitely drink at a 2-year-old's birthday. There's nothing worse than a 2-year-old's birthday. Everyone's screaming, kids running around and making a noise, throwing shit, food everywhere, freaking shitty nappies everywhere, absolute chaos. Do yourself a favour, get a shitload of friggin' bread, butter that shit, hundreds of thousands on it, and best food ever at a kid's party. Can't rave enough about it. Get a balloon in you, friggin' suck on a friggin' bloody, what do you call those things, the popper thingies, and friggin', yeah, unbelievable. Love a good friggin' party. Who wouldn't love a 2-year-old's birthday party? I don't know. What else can we talk about birthday parties? They're fantastic. Mine's coming up. On my 30th coming up. There we go. It's a birthday party for you. None of you fuckers are invited. Just, you won't come anyway. because I've got no friends. That was the longest minute ever. I've already finished past my minute.
Okay, boys. Not Josh, Ben.
Yes.
You have 1 minute to talk about what it is like to be a YouTuber for 1 year. Go.
Yes, so as Terrence has slightly alluded to there, myself, Ben at the Corner Flag Games channel, has just recently undergone its 1 year birthday. We do drink it this 1 year birthday, Josh, just letting you know. So yeah, I, in the space of a year, I've published relatively on 90-ish episodes worth of content for my lovely 116 subscribers, as we currently are. I don't know if we've had any more or dropped any more since then. But the channel is starting to progress itself, and it's getting to where I want it to go. I have plans, as you would have seen in the channel update video I uploaded the other day, that there are plans underway for FIFA 19. One includes me spending over $800 on new computer parts, with another computer sitting on my kitchen table, which I've pulled apart and had to install Windows 10 on today, which is a shame because I love the Windows 7 operating system. But moving forward, I've also got the laptop here that I record LENcast on.
Perfect. Just over a minute. That was my fault because I dazed off thinking of my next thing to say. So well done, boys. I do have just totaling it up now, a final tally. We have Ben with a total, and how I did the points was a quick point for every second under. So how I did it was I deducted a point every time you went a 5 second block over a minute. So Josh, you're screwed. I gave you a point for every good, clean sentence. You lost a point for every pause, that sort of thing. And that gave you a grand total. So in the end, Ben, you ended up with 9 points.
Yeah.
Dan, you ended up with 7 points. And Josh, to be brutally honest, you ended up in the negative. But I've given you
what, Terrence? That's politically incorrect, mate. Because friggin'.
Oh, don't start.
That's so negativism.
That's so negativism.
Favoritism. That's what it is.
And Josh ended up with 0. So, boys, before we wrap it up, I have had, and I haven't ran this by anyone yet, but I have had an idea for a new segment, and I want your ideas. Now, there are a lot of weird and wonderful things on Twitter. There are some interesting characters and some interesting points of view that can be found on Twitter. I propose a new segment where we each find what we think is the tweet of the week. So every week we have one segment where we each read out a tweet that either tickled our fancy or was very thought-provoking, and we present that as our tweet of the week. What are our thoughts on that?
I agree with it, and can I give my tweet of the week right now?
Oh, let's kick it off tonight then. Let's go.
Yeah, because I think it is absolutely hilarious.
Why not? Let's go.
And it reads,
what have you got?
Central Coast Mariners have approached Usain Bolt on a trial basis to sign for the club.
Yes. Yeah, we've... Oh, I'm not even going to make a comment on that. Does anyone feel like making a comment on what's happening there?
No.
Dan, do you understand what's going on?
Yes, Usain Bolt. It was big news over here. So
it is. Yep.
It was. Yeah.
Yep.
It's not now.
Actually, I'll do one.
Media needed something for the day.
Yeah. Yep. Josh, you've got a tweet for the week?
Well, yeah, we'll call it for today. Well, tweet of the day, I'll call this one because obviously, I haven't had a week to work it out. But Trent Sainsbury, obviously, very, very close to signing to QPR, coming from Fox Sports Twitter. Friggin' very, very keen to see if that does go through. I'd be very happy to see him.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
If anyone can just if you can just sort of keep going just for a couple of minutes, and I'll find you my tweet of the week because I saw it and I didn't know you was going to do this. If you ran it by me, I could have I could have saved it
Well, today's a
Sort of
thinking on your feet episode.
Well, yeah. While you're looking for that, Dan, I've actually got one for the week. So this one's been out for a week. I really do. It's
I've got one in the bag as well, by the way.
Yeah, right. I'll rip this one out and you can have yours. It's from Rockstar Games. Great tweet. Friggin' the new, obviously, work your way up to run your own club, nightclub. Fantastic. Bought me first nightclub. Bought me first nightclub the other day. Running it. Oh, unbelievable.
I'm going to
Fantastic.
do that tonight.
Probably one of the
I'm going to do that tonight.
Yeah, probably one of the best things that's happened on GTA for a while. Fantastic idea. But anyway, what do you got, Tez?
Okay, so mine is this is one that I found quite thought-provoking, and I think I lost a few brain cells, if that was possible, reading it. I saw a tweet that read, "Why does the boy never have to take a DNA test?" Sorry, I'll restart that because I've got that wrong. I'll read it actually, so I quote it word for word. Why does the girl never have to take a DNA test to find out if the baby is theirs? I'm just gonna leave that there.
Yep.
Hey?
These people should not be allowed to have children. Sorry.
Yep. I agree.
Well,
I have another
I'm
because it's
not
hilarious.
quite sure.
I have another. It is from Get French Football News. And there is also a video that goes with this one. So jump on their Twitter. It was posted 20 hours ago. And it is Nantes, the French side, announced the new signing of Lucas Evangelista from Udinese through a Fortnite video.
Oh my god.
Yes.
What has the world come to? That is tragic.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And on that note, Dan, have you got yours?
I literally just found it, yes.
Perfect.
So either last weekend or the weekend before, so it might be a tweet of the 2 weeks, whatever. Derby had a pre-season friendly against Southampton, and we thrashed them 3-0. This tweet came from a Southampton fan, and it is as follows. £95. 5 trains on my bill. Missed my best mate's birthday meal. Lost my keys and got shat on by a bird. All to see the Saints FC get dry humped 3-0 by a classy DCFC team. Core. If Carlsberg did weekends. ... at Southampton FC.
Very good.
I've just got the last one, Tez. Before we go, obviously, I do believe this
In Jesus, our Lord and Saviour.
If this gentleman does listen to our podcast, Alex from Satellite City, massive.
Oh no! Don't do it.
Massive Melbourne City fan, mate. Unbelievable, mate. Great effort. Obviously, going over to India. Awesome trip.
Oh.
I did read Melbourne City's tweet.
Ben's just clicked.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely clicked. Melbourne City concluded their tour of India on Friday night with a very poor, but just lost it. Sorry, with a very poor, but good. Sorry, yeah, there we go. Yeah, concluded their tour of India on Friday night Australian time with a 6-0 loss to La Liga outfit Girona FC in Kochi. In saying the 6-0 loss was a massive step back is an understatement. They will learn from this and thrive to win the A-League. Alex, seriously, mate, if you're out there, they're smoking some fucking good shit over in India, I'm telling you.
They're eating hallucinogenic curry.
Oh my god.
And on that note,
No. There's one last thing that we want to
okay.
One last thing.
Yep.
The host has been giving us questions and a minute to talk
Fuck
about
you!
This whole time.
Shit, I was
Maybe
hoping I'd get away with that.
to see if he can do it. So
I was hoping I'd get away with that.
No chance. I was waiting to the end.
I had the timer.
Here is your topic. You have the timer. Are you ready for your topic, Terrence? The inner workings of a plug. Go.
What the fuck? So, the inner workings of a plug. Obviously, the plug goes on top of a spout where there is water, there is pipes involved. So, basically, how that works is the plug sits on top of a pipe, which sits normally, we'll say. No, let me finish, motherfucker. Is this my minute or your minute? The inner workings of a plug. What do you want me to say? All right. So,
okay, electrical plug then. That'll make it easier. We'll reset the timer. How's about an electrical plug then? The inner workings of an electrical plug.
Okay.
Reset them in.
All right.
And are you ready? Go. Electrical plug. Inner workings.
Okay. The inner workings of an electrical plug. Obviously, they are installed by electricians. They are sat on framework. The wires run through the inside of the framework of the house. Structurally, it doesn't make an impact to the timber because the timber trusses and wall mounts are drilled through, so the wires can run through them. They're also nailed in through little sort of like plastic rings that sit across the top of the trusses and come through the roof down each wall, sit into the wall mounts themselves, come through the plaster, and there is a plastic face that sits on the outside of the wall, which is where you plug stuff into and switch it on and off. They need to be installed from highly qualified, is the word I'm looking for, electricians, because they are very dangerous to install. There is a lot of power that obviously goes through there. If it surges or something goes wrong, like a frayed wire, they can kill. They can be quite lethal. So it is important to make sure that the inner workings of your electrical plugs are safe, they are regularly checked, and they are working properly.
That was pretty good, actually. Apart from your 3 errs.
That was good, but I do have a tally.
Next topic. Business ethics.
I have a score count. Terrence?
Yes.
0.
Thank you.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I thought I did all right. These are workings of an electrical plug. Come on.
You did well, but your arms let you down.
Can we wrap the show before we keep going? These poor people just want to get out of their car or freaking get off the
drive off the Westgate, or
I don't think we're keeping anyone on the edge of the seat with this one.
No.
We don't get views anyway.
Well,
No,
you're hosting next week, Dan, so...
Yes, that's all good.
No, what they've done is they've got off the edge of the seat they were standing on, kicked the seat from under them, and they're just hanging there.
Hey,
Terrence.
As long as these people next week, just bear in mind that it's my host next week, and we all know how my last intro went.
Yeah.
I'm getting tissue.
No one can ever beat that intro. Well, boys, it is time to wrap it up. I thought I would try something different with you guys to keep the podcast nice and fresh, so we're not doing the same thing every week. I hope you enjoyed listening to it as much as these boys enjoyed ending their careers doing it. We hope to see you next time. Thank you for listening to episode number 8 of the LENcast. I'm going to throw to each of our guests to sign off individually. So, Ben, would you like to sign off?
Thank you very much, guys, for having me once again. Here's hoping that I kept quiet for a lot of that and didn't destroy my YouTube career.
You were one of the quieter ones yourself, and I think might be all right, but it's the next two that might be in a bit of trouble. Dan, would you like to sign off?
Nah, fuck it. Whatever happens, happens. Case are all fucking... I don't give a shit. I've got my opinions. I voice them. Don't have to agree with them. Bye.
That's absolutely right. Absolutely right. Absolutely. Josh, would you like to sign off?
For the very last time, guys, on YouTube and on air, I have been very pleased to be contributing with these guys. Thank you for your time, guys, and I'm sure you will find a nice replacement who does give his opinion. See you guys.
And I believe, you beat me to the punchline. I'm going to sign off myself. Thank you guys for having me on once again. It was a pleasure to be on with you all and actually awake at this time of the evening to be on. Thank you to everyone for listening. Please make sure that you leave a like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening to this on podcast.com, thank you very much. Make sure you leave a comment with your feedback down below so we know what you guys enjoy and what you want to hear next week. And that is all from us for now. Peace.